Alright, we got reverse Jewel Knights today, so let's begin. But first, the other clan collection stuff. Grand Blue, 7 Seas, a Swordman, Lord, Night Haze. Grade 2, 90 power and skills. Auto 1, place on Vanguard, rearguard, cost, counter blast 1. Look at top 5 cards of your deck, choose 1 card with 7 Seas from among them, and reveal it and put it to your hand, discard the rest. Obvious must play in 7 Seas, especially when you can mill the other 4 cards on the top of your deck. That is really powerful for Grand Blue. And even if you don't get 7 Seas, well, that's 5 cards of the drop zone, which can be considered the second hand for Grand Blue. Second skill, Auto Vanguard rearguard. When this card attack hits, choose one of your circles without a treasure marker and put a treasure marker on it, just like every other 7 Cs. But you mainly use this for the first skill, and you could technically run this in any Grand Blue deck just to mill the top 5 cards of your deck, because that is very powerful for Grand Blue. Next, Grudgeful Spirit of the 7 Cs, Ogochi Voyage. Grade 3, 12k power, protect and skillless. Count Vanguard rearguard. During your turn, this card gets plus 3k power for every 7 Cs card in your drop zone and bind zone. Grand Blue, you're gonna mill a lot, and you do have some bind zone stuff too, so this will get decent amount of power. But the second skill, Act Vanguard rearguard. Once per turn, cost, remove a treasure marker, choose 2 of your grade 2 or less 7 Cs from your drop zone and call them to rearguard. I don't really mind the cost and all that, but I don't like 7 Cs attack hit for treasure marker, so it's not the most consistent thing. But luckily every 7 Cs have that ability, but once it's a 5 damage, you will definitely not be getting any more treasure markers once you use them all up. And then third skill is the same as every other 7 Cs, where when an attack hits on Vanguard rearguard, you can put a treasure marker on a circle that doesn't have one. Overall, it's a very decent big beater for 7 Cs, and getting 2 extra calls out is also pretty nice. The only thing is, generating those treasure markers can be a little struggling sometimes because they're all attack hits. And then to Nova Grappler, strongest Beast Deity Ethics Buster Extreme. Grade 3, 12k power, excellent skills. Auto Vanguard, when your Beast Deity in its card name stands by its card ability, if you have an Ethics Buster in Soul, that unit gets plus 5k power in the end of turn. Riding this on top of Ethics Buster will get it on himself definitely, but there's always those other Beast Deities rush attacks. And every extra power does help for Excel Clan. Second skill, Auto Vanguard. Once per turn, when you drive check a Beast Deity, cost counter blast 1, discard a card from hand. Choose one of your rearguards with Beast Deity in its card name that has same grade or less than that Beast Deity card, and stand it. But if your damage zone is 4 or more cards, stand all your units with Beast Deity's card name instead that has the same grade as that stand unit. So basically a nice finisher rush. Its first skill will definitely activate through this, and you technically already have enough Beast Deity's normal units just to make a full deck out of it. And basically this just turns the whole deck into triggers basically. Definitely going to the extreme. And now to the Tuesday stream, we got new Jewel Knights. Our first card is Security Jewel Knight Alwayne. Grade 1, 80 power and skills. Act rearguard. Cost rest this unit, put a normal unit from a drop zone to the bottom deck, soul charge 1, and then choose one of your vanguards with Jewel Knight's card name, and it gets plus 5k power into end turn. It's similar to Morvidius, except no counter blasts. Either way, it's a pretty much a good free recycle and free soul charge, which Jewel Knights do soul charge a lot, and you do want to recycle as well. And in second skill, Auto Vanguard rearguard. When another unit is placed on top of it, look at the top 2 cards of the deck, choose 1 Jewel Knight from among them, and add it to your hand. Put the rest of the bottom deck in any order. 2 cards is way too little. Although now we do have 12 different Jewel Knights, so at least there's some more consistency into it, but 2 is still way too little in my opinion. Next, Banding Jewel Knight Marinda. Grade 2, taking power and skills. Auto rearguard. When this card attacks while not being boosted, if your Vanguard is Jewel Knight, cost counter blast 1, choose one of your Vanguards, and then until the end of the battle, change this unit's power equal to that Vanguard's power. Sometimes you will not be boosting with Jewel Knights, and especially with Ashlei Reverse, you're going to be locking your rearguard, so this does help. Just be aware, spoiler alert, that your only grade 3 Vanguard that will be gaining power will be Ashlei Reverse. And that's by its own skill. Salamone and regular Ashlei doesn't really gain any power without any extra help. And then second skill, Auto Vanguard rearguard. When your other unit is placed on top of this, soul charge 1. If you have no face-up cards in the damage zone, counter charge 1. Really helpful for many Royal Paladin decks that do mid-battle superior call multi-attack, because any card that can regenerate resources is always very nice. Especially when it comes to V Royal Paladins, technically this is the only countercharger they have. Finally, Broken Heart Jewel Knight Ashlei Reverse. Grade 3, 13 power, 4 and skills. Act Vanguard. Cost Soul Blast 2, lock one of your rearguards, choose one of your opponent's front row rearguards and retire it. And then look at the top 4 cards of the deck, choose one Jewel Knight from among them, and call it to rearguard, and then put the rest in the bottom deck in any order. Keep in mind, this is not once per turn, and this will be relevant with the second skill. Auto Vanguard. When this card attacks, if you have 2 or more locked cards, cost counter blast 1, search your deck for up to 2 grade 2 or lower Jewel Knights and call them to rearguard, and then shuffle your deck. And then for each of your lock cards, this card gets plus 10k power until the end of turn. If you have 3 or more lock cards until the end of that battle, your opponent cannot call Sentinels from hand to Guardian. Hey, a decent Jewel Knight to put Force 2 markers with. It gets loss of power, gets you guard restrict, and also multi-attack in the middle of its attack, unlike end of battle regular Ashlei. The only question is this better to be at your Vanguard than Salamone? It really depends. Salamone is definitely the better finisher, but it does require you to have a hand and field setup ready before you could do anything with it to get its full effect off. With Ashlei Reverse, you really just need to have enough soul, and it's already basically 5 attacks on its own already. The only thing is you kinda will lose your boosters, but it is a little more consistent than Salamone, but it really depends on scenario. Either way, it's a nice option. And finally, to finish this off, we got the new Lyrical set, which will come out in September. Here are some of the new Ride Line cards and some other cards. I mean, it's basically summer season waifus. None of them really look interesting to me, if I'm gonna be very honest. And that's it for this. What do you guys think about the new 7 Seas Ethics Buster Extreme and the new Jewel Knights? I mean, I like Ethics Buster Extreme, but I'm not a Nova Grappler player, so unfortunately, it's just whatever to me. But Jewel Knights, I'm still very interested, and I do like the design, and I'm glad to see Ashlei Reverse back. Kinda unfortunate that we don't get a new Alfred to counter Glendios. And I don't want it to be a Gold Paladin unit. But anyway, that's it for this, and see you next time.